PlayStation 5 Pro has been revealed, and I'm not here to talk about specs or like what games are gonna run it or anything like that. I don't really care. I'm here to specifically talk about two things: the price and the PlayStation fanboy dick riding, because they're defending this thing so hard, even though it's impossible to defend how shit the price is, because the prices are awful for the PS5 Pro, and I'm gonna get into that right now. So as you can tell, the PS5 Pro is $700 in the US. $700. That is $200 more than a standard PS5. And if you remember, the PS4 Pro was only $100 more than the regular PS4. So that's already insane, right? $700 for a system with no games. Let's be honest.
I have one. I have one! There's no games! There's no games on it!
Like, what does the PS5 even have? It has remakes and sequels, right? And half of those games are already on PC and the other half are going to be on PC. But it gets even worse when it comes to price, because this thing is £700. Now, in case you didn't know this, £700 are 914 US dollars. The PS5 Pro will cost $900 in the UK. And in Europe, in the EU, the console will cost €800, which is the equivalent of 882 United States dollars, right? But it gets even worse. Well, not worse, but the same thing basically for in Japan, where the console will cost 842 United States dollars. So even though it's already incredibly expensive in the United States, being $700, it's even more expensive in other parts of the world. The pricing is just outrageously bad on this thing, and no one's going to buy it. I can't imagine anybody in the UK paying $900 fucking dollars for this thing. Now, obviously, with the prices being so incredibly, like, ludicrously ridiculous, right? Like, whoever came up with this is deluded to think people are going to buy this. So there was a massive pushback against this on the internet. Everybody's making fun of it, except for the PlayStation fanboys. They're tweeting shit like this:
Brokies gonna have to stay with their Xboxes.
Brokies, guys, we are brokies because we're not going to spend a ridiculous amount of money on a plastic box we don't need. Okay, I'm a brokie because 6 years ago I bought a PC, or I built a PC for €750, and only now can it actually not keep up with modern games anymore. So now I'm gonna have to upgrade it for about $400-500. But I guess that I am just a brokie. I'm not financially responsible, right? It's me who is the brokie. It's not that these other guys are just glue sniffers that buy a new console every 2 years for, again, ridiculous amounts of money and spend $60 fucking dollars a year on the privilege to use the internet they already pay for. No, I am the brokie, and they're smart, rich people.
PC dudes getting upset about the PS5 Pro speaks volumes. Ain't no way I'm gonna be mad about a console when I waste so much money on my PC. I don't get the angle. The only thing this tells me is that some sort of fear or insecurity that makes you feel less than.
What are you on about, my guy? Nobody's mad about the PS5 Pro. It's except for maybe people who wanted to buy it and think it's too expensive, right? But most of us are just laughing at this shit because it's hilarious how Sony thinks they can just charge people $900 fucking dollars for a plastic box with no games, essentially. And it's even funnier that PlayStation fanboys are actually defending and going to purchase this piece of shit PlayStation 5 Pro. And this whole thing you say about I wasted so much money on my PC. I don't know about you, but I again, $750 is all I've ever spent on the PC itself. And only now do I have to upgrade it, like 6-7 years later. I don't have to buy a new console like every 3-4 years.
The same people mad at the PS5 Pro being $700 have no issues with Xbox releasing a discless Series X for $600 with zero power increase, and most importantly, barely any system selling games. Let that sink in.
Bro, let it sink in? Let it sink in that you're sucking corporate dick for free, my guy. That's insane. Like, I don't understand how you just go every day, you go onto the internet and you just you suck that Sony cock for free. It's mad, honestly. And the reason why a lot less people care that the discless Series X is $600, which still is a completely insane and a ridiculous price for a console, by the way. But people care less about that because it's not an Xbox Series X Pro. It's not supposed to be like an improved version of the Xbox Series X. It's just a discless one, and I think it has more storage. That's it. The PS5 Pro is supposed to be an upgrade of the PS5. It's supposed to be like basically the next big thing. The thing you're supposed to buy if you want a PS5 now. If you can't see the difference between those two things, right, then you were probably dropped on your head as a child or something, I don't know.
That Galaxy Black 2TB Xbox Series X is $600, so the PS5 Pro with 2TB at $700 isn't that bad, especially given the huge power advantage the Pro will have.
Listen dude, $600 is also a ridiculous amount of money for an Xbox, right? Same shit with the $700. It's a ridiculous amount of money for a PS5, and it's not even $700, because in the UK, it's $900, and in most of the rest of the world, it's $800. More actually, because in Japan, $840, and in Europe, it's $880 bucks. And I don't give a shit about power advantage. I don't really believe in that shit anymore. Because a lot of people were ripping on the Xbox Series S for not being like powerful enough and whatever. And I agree with them. I thought like, oh, this shit's like genuinely holding back console gaming. But then recently Space Marine 2 released and it runs perfectly fucking good. Like it runs amazingly well on the Xbox Series S. Which just proves to me that this is not about hardware. It's literally just developers being too lazy to properly optimize their shit for the Xbox Series S.
Yes, economy and inflation are factors, but I believe if Xbox was strong competition, PlayStation likely couldn't be as brazen and may have had to consider more subsidy, less margin. This is the future. We'll have to get used to it now, especially as more Xbox games come to PlayStation and a higher cadence.
Guys, it's Xbox's fault that the PlayStation 5 Pro is super fucking expensive for no reason, guys. Okay, even when Sony fucks up, it's always Xbox's fault, dude. Always. Sony releases games, $70, Xbox fault. Sony releases a PlayStation 5 Pro, $700, $900 in the UK. Xbox fault, guys. Sony can't do anything about this, guys. It's just Xbox is such shit at competition that Sony they have to release the console at $900 in the UK and $880 in the European Union. But what else are they supposed to do? You expect them to come up with reasonable prices when Xbox? Like, shut the fuck up, dude. This is just so dumb. I genuinely can't believe how people are defending. Same thing with the $70. Like when the games became $70 and people started defending that, I don't get how you can sit there and defend that, because it's just complete and utter bullshit. Also, in Europe, like again, in Europe, this is somewhat related, right? But games for the PlayStation, Sony games, in Europe cost €80, I'm pretty sure, which is $88. I don't understand why in Europe they made everything so much more expensive, and in the UK too, I guess. I mean, you could say shit like, oh, maybe it's taxes and shit like that, but I don't think so, because other gaming companies will release their shit here at normal prices. My personal little game theory here is that because PlayStation basically owns the console market in Europe, they feel like they can just charge whatever they want, which will definitely not collapse in on them, guys. That will not backfire at all. But it's all just a bit ridiculous. I'm glad I switched to PC, man. I'm not dependent on these stupid fucking companies anymore. Anyway, yeah, I think I'm gonna end the video here. I can't wait to see how much more salt this situation will cultivate, but we'll see. And I'll see you all, yeah, in the next video. And if you like this video, please like and subscribe to the channel. Goodbye.